Hey guys. Oh, it's been a rainy day and but we are off and running for a wonderful start. And I'm so glad we're going to have people coming in. So any point now we'll have some folks that'll be getting on and we're going to get going with day 2. How's that? So, if you're here, I'd love for you to just write in the comments where you're coming from. And so I'd love to kind of see where people are and checking in. And then maybe you could write about some of the surprises as you were looking at things that you're grateful for. Did you notice some things that you've overlooked before as you're looking for things to be grateful for to add onto your list? What are some of the things that you were surprised at that maybe you've overlooked? You might be hearing a little noise upstairs. So I'm staying with my son and his family while we're building our house, and they have a 4-year-old that's struggling a little bit. So you might hear some noise from that, but that's okay. So I'm just wondering how everyone did with looking at the things that we surround ourselves with that we are grateful for. And again, I would love to have people just type in the comments of what, where they're from, and then any surprises. So as you're busy looking for things to put on your list, did you see things that maybe you take for granted a little bit, or you overlook a lot, which is real common? You know, maybe it's a toaster, right? Makes your mornings go easy. A microwave. It could be the vacuum cleaner. Imagine, what did people do before that? I have no idea, but it was a pretty hard thing, I think, before. And so think of some of the things then that maybe you take for granted and you miss by, and then maybe what some of the surprises are. And I would love to see that in your sorry, I'm just trying to get everyone on here and answering some of the questions that we're getting and helping people out. Let's see. Oh, here we are. Okay. And so as we get going, today we are concentrating on, dropped something there. We are concentrating actually on people that we're grateful for. And so let's think about some of the people that are in your life that you are grateful for. And I'll bet you're going to think about some of the things like your parents, your spouse, your kids, right? Your grandkids, if you've got grandkids. I know we've got some grandparents that have signed up for this. And maybe it's your boss. Maybe they're not on your list of people you're grateful for. But, what are some of the people that you're grateful for? And then I want you to just maybe think of 1 or 2 words right here or there that having a hard time. Long day. Oh, they had a long day. So maybe think of a word or 2 that defines why you're grateful for them. So you might put your spouse down, but why are you grateful for them? So maybe it's because they make you feel loved. Maybe because they're a great parent. Maybe it's because they are hardworking and help out a lot. Maybe it's because they make you laugh and you have a great time and you enjoy some of the things that you do together. So be thinking about maybe some of the things that put you, make you really love that person. So maybe it's your parent or your child or that boss, right? And see what it is that you love about them. So I'm seeing, I've got a couple of things here. And so I'm just going to peek real quick. Dana Yeager. So good to see you here. Great. And, oops, here. I'm going to move this for just a second. I wanted to make sure that no one was having trouble getting on, and so we could help them through that. All right. So one of the things, though, that I wanted to talk to you about is how there are people. I got some notices that they were having trouble finding us and getting on and everything. And I had one message that said, oh, I didn't get an email today. In order to get an email and to get in on all of that part, you actually need to register. And so that's at littleheartsacademyusa.com. And you can either scroll down to the 5-day challenge. It's not far from the top. And so you can scroll down and click on that and register. Or when we're done, I will post the link to register for that. And so then you can get, the mails, the emails, and all of that stuff. Also, for everyone that registers, I am offering a free 50-minute one-on-one conversation with me. And so I usually charge about $100 for that. But I'm going to give anyone who registers at the site, there's the thing that you can click on that for your coaching. And you just click on that and it'll take you to my calendar, and you can just fill out a time that's good for you. If it's on the calendar, it's good for me. And I'll give you that free 1 hour to talk about just issues that you might be having with your kids, or if you're watching your grandkids a lot and you're kind of confused because, man, things have changed since, us old farts have been raising kids. So just know that it's there. All right. So we've got that. So now we're going to be talking about those people that we were just talking about a little bit. And I want you to think about maybe who are the people that we miss? Who are the people then that should be on that list that we kind of take for granted, right? And so maybe it's the clerk at the store, or a neighbor. It could be your child's teacher. It could be the guy that carries your bags out to the car if they do that. Your mailman. Boy, someone I'm really grateful for is my trash man, and how they come in and do that service for us, right? The doctors, the nurses. I can tell you that. So I have a son who lives in Northern California, and he is a hospital administrator. He's over quality control and risk management. But he started out as a respiratory therapist, and has stayed with the hospital while he worked and got his degrees, and now he has his master's. But he told me one time that he had saved this guy's life in the hospital. He had quit breathing, and my son's name is Shiloh, and Shiloh went in and literally saved his life. But that was all in a day's work, right? And it was something that you're expected to do if that's your job. And he said, Mom, 2 weeks after that, they called my name, on the intercom, and said that I was wanted at this front desk or something. Or no, it was in a conference room, and they'd put this family in the conference room, and the family had cookies and thank you cards from the kids. Thank you for saving my daddy, all of those things. And he said, Mom, that's the first time anybody has said thank you to me in all the years that he had worked there. And isn't that kind of interesting that he literally saved someone's life, and yet this is the only time before and after that someone actually went back and said thank you. Who are the people that we take for granted? What about the person that holds up the crosswalk sign, right, as our kids go to school? Do we think to be grateful for that person and what they do? And actually, that can be quite a dangerous job. There are people who do that get hit by cars frequently. Oh, good. I know that when my kids were little, they had to cross a fairly busy street, and there was an older guy. He's probably what I am now, right? But he would watch these kids, and he was on this busy street. I walked my daughter every day, because it was a busy street, and she was my baby, and I was scared for her, right? But one time, there was a car. The kids were starting to go in, and it was a cold morning. I guess they didn't want to stop or didn't see him, but I don't know how you could miss him. He's a big guy, holding up a big red stop sign, and the car just ran through. This guy winged the stop sign at the car and took out his one of his taillights, and the guy got out and was just so mad and yelling at him. He goes, "There's kids here. You could have run one of them over." And so the guy complained, and the parents came out just so grateful, like, no, you can't fire him. He'll put his life on the line, right? Who are the people then that we overlook all the time? And that's what I want you to really concentrate on. And then maybe even comment on it when you're with your kids. Wow, that was really nice. Or wow, so-and-so did something. Did you see what that man did or what that lady did? We notice people who hold the door open for us? I think most of the time we do, and we're sure to say thank you. And especially if it's a young person, right? Oh, wow, you're such a gentleman. Wow, what a young lady. I really appreciate your help, right? And so you're able to build their experience, but it's reminding you that you are grateful too, okay? All right, and so I want you to add to your list. So hopefully you've made your list, maybe a thumbs up if you worked on your list today of people that you're grateful for. And then tell me, or just takes a minute and add, and maybe even tonight when we're done, add onto that list some of the people that maybe you've forgotten, right? Now, ooh, I just had a light go out on me, of course. Let me see. And here. All right. Well, let's turn it down. It's a little bright. Okay, there we are. So anyway, while you're thinking about that, as you go through your day tomorrow, kind of notice people that do things that you can be grateful for. And then add them to your list. Keep this list. So you want the list from yesterday, which was things and experiences that we are grateful for. And then today is things that we are, people that we are grateful for. And we're going to move forward with that. And we'll be doing something more starting tomorrow and then Thursday and Friday. We're going to be able to use these lists to help us move forward in our week of gratitude. So the other thing that I want you to think about are sometimes there are people that are rude, but we can still be grateful for them. Can we not? We can. And so maybe they've had a bad day and you can just have that grace. And that's, I think, part of being grateful for people, the people that are around us, is giving them grace for when they've had a rough day, a bad day. Maybe they've had a bad week, a month, a year. Maybe they've just had a bad life, right? A horrible, awful childhood or whatever. And so they can be maybe grumpy. We all have, of course, I never get grumpy, right? Of course I do. And sometimes I come off more rudely than I think that I am. Sometimes I think I'm saying, oh, something. And my husband will say, that was really rude. Was it? I didn't mean for it to be rude. I was just, but sometimes it sounds rude when we don't mean it to be that way. And so part of living in gratitude is giving grace to those who need it. So maybe you're at the doctor's office and maybe they're booked, right? And you're frustrated and you're dealing with this nurse who's just doing her job. Or maybe she's had a bad day and she's not as nice as she could be, right? Are we going to go and complain to the doctor and put her job into jeopardy or whatever? Or are we going to give her that grace and be thankful that she's there to help? Because most of the time she's fine, right? And so let's give her that grace. Or maybe she just has that personality that comes off harsher than they think they do, and more stern. And so, okay, that's just who you are. But I'm grateful that you're getting all the bookings done, that you are taking your job seriously. You can give them, right, that grace. So let's think about times when maybe you're at the airport and your flight has been delayed, or worse yet, canceled. And so you're going to go to the desk and talk to the clerk there. And so I've witnessed this. And so, give me a thumbs up if you've witnessed this as well. I've witnessed people just yelling at these poor people who are just doing their job. It's not their fault that the plane or the schedule got turned around and upside down. It's not their fault that you might miss a meeting or that something, they're trying hard. Can you give them that grace? And are you really yelling at the right person, right? And so we need to be more grateful and say, wow, I know this is a hard time and I know that this is a rough job for you. I'm going to be nice. I'm going to be, as helpful as I can in this. Let's see what we can do together and maybe where I need to go. And you'll see their shoulders relax, right? Because when these things happen, it's like, oh gosh, I'm going to get yelled at. Tell me how you act when you're going to get yelled at, right? How about the cop that stops you and is going to give you a ticket? Do you feel differently about him then, or her then, as when they're there to help look for your missing child, or to find a grandparent, or they're there to, with awful situations and they're making them better? You feel differently about that same person doing that same job, but one is a nuisance to you and the other one could be even life-saving, and it's the same person doing all of that. Are we grateful for them in what they're doing and recognize that they really are probably trying to do the best they can? Another thing that I want you to think about is when we talk about people that we miss on being grateful for, people that we missed out on. There's a series of stories. It's called the Tuttle Twins. Some of you may know about it, but it goes into like civics, but it's for kids, probably about age 7, 8. They can start reading those, and there's one book that I just love, and it's like something about a magic pencil or whatever. But the kids are going to this pencil factory, and they were talking about all the different pieces. So you don't just get the pencil done at the pencil factory, right? You have to have lumberjacks that are bringing the trees down responsibly, and then the truck drivers that are getting that wood. We don't use lead in pencils anymore, but there's the graphite, and then there's the little metal piece that holds the eraser on. There are the people that make the erasers, right? And then there are the people that put them all in the boxes or whatever packaging that they have. And then there's another set of truck drivers that are going to come and pick this up and then take them to whatever distribution center. And then there's the people at the distribution center that are going to get things all organized so that, this store's getting the right amount and that store's getting the right amount. And some of these are going to Amazon and coming directly to you. when you think about just what goes into making a pencil, and I loved this story in the way that it really explains it so well that a child can understand, but then it helps us understand as well. But so when we think about that, think about everything that we buy. When we buy ice cream, gotta love the ice cream, right? But you gotta think that there's someone who is raising the cow, is milking the cow. That's a tough job. That's just a tough job. And then getting the milk, to where it needs to be, and then it's made into the ice cream, and then it's shipped out, and there are people even within the factory that does the ice cream there's all kinds of jobs that are there. Are we grateful for them as well, right? So there's so many places to be grateful, so many opportunities to truly feel grateful for the things for the people that are around us. So I hope that you're able to maybe tomorrow pay attention and look at your list and see who you can add on to that list. Maybe with the conversation that we've just had here in mind. And like the janitor that cleans your kid's classroom. I am always grateful for them. And I would make sure, to try and remember them at the holidays and stuff. But more importantly, I like to say thanks. I usually would work late in my classroom. I didn't like to bring work home with me. And so, and my kids were a little older when I started teaching. They were all in, high school or junior high. And so I would stay and work and get things done. And so I would usually see the cleanup crew. And I would just always say thank you, or I'd have donuts for them or something. Who couldn't you remember that often feels like they're part of the wallpaper that maybe you can do something for and let them know that you are grateful for them? How does that feel for you if someone remembers to be grateful? Now, even your kids and your spouse, wow, dinner's great tonight. Thank you. Wow, that shirt I really wanted to wear is in my closet and it's washed and it's been, now I iron everything. I know. Few people do. And the ones who do are mostly my age or in the military. But, or that it was in my drawer. Mom, thank you for having that shirt for me. I really wanted to wear it today. Or Dad. Dad does laundry in our house too. And so, what are the things that if someone remembered to show their gratitude to you through their words and saying thank you, how does that make you feel? And what can you do to brighten someone else's day with that? And the cool thing is, they're not the only ones who get to feel great about themselves. You feel good about yourselves. And so there's so many scientific studies and research projects that are out there that people who live in gratitude have less depression. There's like improved suicide rates. There's not that much there. They are able to have happier relationships, longer lasting relationships. They feel more confident. They're more apt to take risks. And I don't mean like, climbing a cliff, but I mean personal risks. Reaching out and maybe starting a new relationship or just saying hi to someone in a friendship. When you live in gratitude, the benefits are just phenomenal for you. Now, you can do it selfishly, and that kind of, I guess it's better than nothing, right? But then you start feeling this joy that's inside. And I think it's as strong as the runner's high, when they hit those endorphins kick in. And that's what I compare. I used to be a runner back in the day. And when I would hit that, and then the feelings that I get from showing gratitude to someone else, it does better for me. People get sick less. They heal faster. It's an amazing thing when we live in gratitude. And if it's going to do that for us, isn't that what we would want for our kids or for our grandkids? To help them begin a life in gratitude is such a big step for them and helping them out. And so, hey, Mosaic Realms, good to see you. Eastside Aurora, Colorado. is that? Let me know. And so tomorrow, so you're getting a little heads up, we're going to work on making a plan, making a set plan on noticing things to be grateful for, but then acting on that gratitude. So I don't feel like it's truly, that it's truly gratitude if you just don't act on it, when you don't say thank you, when you don't respond to someone in a kind manner, when you don't let them know, right? All of those things. So, oh, Illinois, because there's a Aurora, Colorado too. I used to teach there. So, well, good for you in Illinois, and I hope that you're not freezing too much with the cold there. So I don't know if anyone wants to share anything on their list. We've got a little bit of time that's available. If you want to share anything or give a thumbs up or let me know that this has been useful for you, I would just appreciate that so that I know kind of more of a direction to go. And if you're a little shy, that's okay. I have a husband that's very introverted and he doesn't do public things at all, but that's okay. So if you want to maybe post it, you can send me a message. You can email me, and I'll put my email down in there. It's djstutz@littleheartsacademyusa.com, and you can always email me there. Remember to register on the website. I'll put the link there. You can always find it at littleheartsacademyusa.com, but I'll put the direct link to register for this. And it's just a reminder that everyone who registers will be able to sign up for a free 50-minute one-on-one session with me, and I can do some coaching to help you with any topic that you're working on with your kids, or with just getting your life in order, and so I love that. Is probably the most favorite thing that I do, is the coaching. So, and then just remember that there's also a podcast that comes out, and this week's podcast is about gratitude. So it'd be fun for you to listen to. That's called Imperfect Heroes Podcast, and you can just go to imperfectheroespodcast.com and you can see all of the episodes. So I think the episode that's up this week on gratitude is episode 72. All of that I'm going to post in our 5-day gratitude group. And so you'll have access to all of that. But I hope you register. And so I have some people who have already signed up for that free coaching, 50 minutes. And my first one's tomorrow from this group. And so I'm excited for that. And if you click on that, when you're on the website, it takes you directly to my calendar. So if the time is there, that means it's good for me. And we can get something going for you. And that's just my appreciation, my gratitude for everyone who's coming on and being a part of this. I just really appreciate it. So be sure and go register. That would be great. And so tomorrow, same time. We don't go extremely long. Let me see. We've been at it for only a half an hour so far. And so, it's not a big, long thing. And if you miss it, it's always posted on the group. And so if you missed yesterday's, it's there already. And then later on tonight, this one will be on as well. So anyway, I am so grateful for all of you who decided to join and spend these few minutes with me. I've got another live at 7:00 for the podcast. That's on my Facebook podcast page. And imagine that. It is Imperfect Heroes Podcast on Facebook. If you want to find that page and go there, I do that every Tuesday at 7 Mountain Time. So until tomorrow, or if you want to join me on the podcast, then hey Nephi, how you doing? I'm so glad you came. So if you want to join me there, that is fine. And then if not, you can always come back tomorrow, 6:00, same place here, and I'll post the link and stuff. I don't know if the link was helpful or if you've just found me on your own, but I tried to get the link in as many places as I could. And oh, I'm so glad to hear it, Nephi. And so we'll see you tomorrow. And until then, let's find joy in parenting. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.